Right now, there is a very specific lie you are probably telling the people you care about the most.
Oh, totally. A big lie.
Yeah, a lie that is actually destroying your relationships, draining your energy, and just quietly ruining your goals. And the craziest part,
You think you were being polite.
exactly, you are telling this lie because you think it's the good, polite thing to do. So today we are taking a deep dive into some really amazing source material all about the art of saying no with confidence.
Which is such an important topic.
It really is. Our mission today is to figure out why the word no gets completely stuck in our throats. We are going to look at the hidden costs of what our sources call the dishonest yes.
I love that phrase, the dishonest yes.
Right. And we are going to build a practical toolkit for you. Simple ways to set healthy boundaries without feeling like, a bad person.
Because whether you are talking to your boss, your friends, or your relatives, learning this skill will save your time and your peace of mind.
Definitely. So, have you ever said yes to a party or a big family function and then spent the entire day just dreading it?
Oh my gosh, yes. Just sitting there wishing I had simply said no in the first place.
Uh-huh. Exactly. We all do it. The source notes say that we fundamentally misunderstand this whole idea of agreeing to things. We think saying yes is always positive.
Right, like yes is the default setting. Like you have to say yes to be a good friend or a good colleague.
And we treat the word no like it's this aggressive, rude thing.
Hmm.
But the material points out that when you say yes just because you are anxious, you are actually causing a lot of damage.
It really is damage.
Yeah.
Because we do it out of fear. The notes actually highlight 4 specific fears that make us say yes when we don't want to.
Okay, let's break those down. What are the 4 fears?
They are the fear of rejection, the fear of conflict, the fear of hurting someone's feelings, and the fear of being judged.
Rejection, conflict, hurting feelings, and being judged. I mean, those sound like very normal social things.
They are normal, but the source material explains there is a deep biological reason for this. It goes all the way back to human history.
Oh, wow, like ancient history.
Yeah, like hunter-gatherer times. Back in the old village days. Think about it. If a coworker asks you to work on a Sunday, your logical brain knows you won't die if you say no.
Right, I might get a weird look, but I'll survive.
Exactly. But your brain has this part called the amygdala. It's like a tiny alarm system for threats. And that alarm system does not know the difference between your boss being slightly disappointed and you being kicked out of your ancient tribe.
Wait, really? So my brain thinks if I say no to working on Sunday, I am going to be thrown out of the village to face the tigers.
Haha, yes. That is exactly it. Because thousands of years ago, if you caused conflict or upset the group, you were rejected. And if you were isolated, you didn't survive the winter.
That is wild.
So your nervous system treats someone's disapproval like a physical threat to your life. When someone looks you in the eye and asks for a favor, your brain just hits the panic button.
It just overrides everything.
Right. It just pushes the word yes out of your mouth because saying yes makes the immediate danger go away. It stops the awkwardness.
It's a survival strategy. We say yes to survive the next 5 seconds of the conversation, but we totally ignore the fact that we just ruined our entire weekend.
Exactly. You kick the problem down the road.
I was reading this part of the material, and it made me think of a smartphone. Saying yes to everything out of fear is exactly like running too many apps in the background of your phone.
Oh, that is a great example. Like when you don't swipe them away.
Yeah, you just keep opening apps because you don't want to close them. The location tracking, the heavy games, the social media, all running silently.
And you don't even see the battery draining at first.
Right, you just notice your phone is getting really hot, it starts working super slow, and then when you actually need to make an important call, the whole system just crashes.
The battery's dead.
Exactly. When we give these dishonest yeses, we are opening a heavy background app in our brain. A little process starts running that says, oh no, I have to go to that wedding next week, or I have to do that extra project.
And it just drains your mental energy.
It really does. The source text has this really powerful point here. It says that trying to keep everyone perfectly happy by always agreeing actually makes you deeply unhappy.
Because it creates resentment. You start feeling angry inside.
Totally.
And we have to look at what that anger does to you. When you say yes to avoid a fight with someone else, the conflict doesn't just disappear.
It has to go somewhere, right?
Exactly. You are just moving the conflict from the outside to the inside. You avoid a 5-minute awkward chat with your friend, but now you have a 5-day internal war.
Oh, that is so true. Your stress is high, you are annoyed at yourself.
And you are annoyed at your friend, even though you are the one who said yes.
Yes, I do that. I say yes, and then I am secretly mad at them for asking.
Which is the tragic part of the dishonest yes. We think we are protecting the relationship, But what really happens? You show up to the dinner party, or you help them move furniture, and you are stressed. You're in a bad mood.
You are not really present.
Right. And over time, that quiet anger damages the relationship much more than a simple, polite no ever would.
Okay, I see that. But let me challenge this for a second.
Go for it.
What about when it's not a friend? What if it's a big power difference? Like your boss asks you to do a massive project on Friday evening?
That's a tough one.
Yeah. Saying no, there isn't just about an ancient fear of tigers. It's a real modern fear of losing your job or missing a promotion. Sometimes isn't a dishonest yes just necessary?
That is how so many people justify burning themselves out. Let's look at that Friday evening boss scenario. If you say yes when you are already completely exhausted, what is going to happen?
I guess I'll do a pretty bad job.
Exactly. Your work quality drops. You make mistakes because your brain is tired.
Yeah.
You avoided the uncomfortable conversation on Friday, but you guaranteed a terrible result per Monday.
That makes sense.
Which one actually hurts your professional reputation more, a polite boundary or terrible work?
When you put it like that, saying yes is actually the career mistake. But to actually say no, we really need a mindset shift. The source material is very clear about this. It states, a respectful no is better than a dishonest yes.
We really have to rethink what being polite means. People think being polite means always agreeing.
Right.
But agreeing because you are scared isn't polite. It is actually a little bit deceptive. When you say yes to something you really don't want to do, you aren't honoring the other person's reality.
Wait, what does that mean? Honoring their reality?
Let's say someone asks you for help. They think they have found someone who is happy and ready to help them. If you give them a dishonest yes, you are hiding the truth.
Oh, because I'm actually annoyed and busy.
Right. You stop them from going and finding someone else who actually has the time and the desire to help. A respectful no gives them back the truth. It lets them make a real plan.
That is a brilliant way to look at it. Honesty over just pretending. And I'm speaking for everyone listening right now in the heat of the moment, it still feels mean.
It does feel mean, I know.
Like if my neighbor asks me to watch her kids on my only day off, giving her the truth by saying no feels so selfish.
But the text directly addresses this. It says protecting your time and energy is not selfish.
I know the text says that, but how do we actually believe it? How do we stop feeling like bad people?
By changing how we picture boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
When we hear the word boundary, we usually picture this big, angry stone wall.
Yeah, like a fortress keeping people away.
Right, and walls feel hostile. But healthy boundaries are not walls. The psychology notes compare them more to property lines.
Property lines, like the fence around your house?
Exactly. A fence around your house is not an attack on your neighbor. It's just a clear line that says, this is where my space ends and yours begins. It just keeps things clear.
Oh, I really like that.
When you tell your neighbor, I can't watch the kids this weekend, you are not attacking her. You are just pointing to your fence. You are saying, I don't have the space for this right now.
That makes it feel so much lighter. Selfishness is when you take someone else's stuff. A boundary is just protecting your own yard.
And if you don't protect your yard, people will just walk all over it. Not because they are evil.
Right, just because the gate is open.
Exactly. Time and energy are so valuable. If your gate is open, people will naturally use your time to solve their problems. Like, oh, he's free, I'll ask him.
Okay, so I need to build the fence, but how do we actually speak the words without starting a fight? Because the theory is nice, but when I open my mouth, I usually just panic and say yes.
Well, this is where the toolkit comes in. The source material gives us 5 very practical, polite ways to say no.
Yes, let's go through these. And let's try to show how to use them in daily life, like real situations.
Perfect. So the first phrase is the most direct one. It's simply, I'm sorry I can't.
I'm sorry, I can't. That is very short.
It is short, and it's great for quick, clear boundaries.
But wait, doesn't saying I'm sorry make you sound weak? People always say we shouldn't apologize so much.
That really depends on how you say it. In everyday English, saying I'm sorry isn't always an admission of guilt. Often it's just a polite social cushion.
Like a way to soften the blow.
Exactly. It shows empathy. Like, I understand you need help, but my boundary stands. Use this for small, everyday things. If a coworker asks if you have time for a quick meeting while you are rushing to finish a task, just say, I'm sorry, I can't right now.
That's clean. No long story needed. Okay, the second phrase from the notes is, maybe another time. Now, when I saw this one, I thought, uh-oh, this sounds like a trap.
It is totally a trap if you aren't careful. It is a very risky phrase.
It feels like the perfect way to give a dishonest yes.
Yes, the strict rule from the text is you can only say maybe another time if you actually truly want to do it in the future.
So if a friend asks me to go shopping, and I hate shopping, and I know I will never want to go shopping,
Do not say maybe another time.
because then they will just ask me again next week.
Exactly. You are not being polite. You are just creating a new problem for next week. You have trained them to ask again. And your anxiety will be even worse the second time. If you don't want to do it, just close the door completely.
That is such good advice. Which brings us to the next two phrases, which are perfect for closing the door nicely. Number 3 is, I appreciate the offer, but I have other plans. And number 4 is very similar. Thank you, but I'll have to say no.
I call these the gratitude sandwich. They are so incredibly effective
Why do they work so well?
because they directly fix that fear of hurting someone's feelings. When someone invites you to something, like getting chai or coming to a function, they are putting themselves out there. They are making a bid for connection.
So if I just say no, I can't, they might feel rejected as a person.
Right. Human brains assume the worst. They won't think, oh, he is busy. They will think, oh, he doesn't like me.
Oh, okay.
But when you start with, thank you so much, or I really appreciate the invite, you validate them. You're saying, I value our relationship, and then you set the boundary. But I have other plans.
You separate the person from the request.
Exactly. It works beautifully for friends, family, and peers.
Okay, let's do a quick role play to test this.
Okay, let's do it.
I am going to be an auntie, and I'm calling to invite you to a very distant cousin's wedding this weekend.
Oh, boy. Okay, ready.
Beta, you have to come to the wedding on Saturday. Everyone is asking for you. You cannot say no.
Auntie, thank you so much for thinking of me. I really appreciate the invite. But unfortunately, I have other plans this weekend, so I won't be able to make it.
Wow, that was smooth. It's so polite, but it's a solid brick wall. I can't really argue with other plans.
Right. And your other plans might literally be sitting on your sofa watching TV. That still counts as a plan.
Yes. Netflix is a valid plan. Okay, what about the final phrase? This one seems a bit more serious. Unfortunately, I won't be able to join.
This one is pure professional distance. Notice what is missing. There is no thank you. There is no I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's a bit cold.
It's depersonalized.
Yeah.
You use this when there's a power dynamic, or someone is being very pushy, like a salesperson or a boss asking for weekend work that isn't really mandatory.
So you don't want to be warm and fuzzy.
No, because warmth gives them room to negotiate. Saying, unfortunately, I won't be able to join, makes it sound like an objective fact, like a law of physics. It gives them nothing to grab onto.
Okay, I love these phrases. So I have used the phrase, I hung up the phone with Auntie, I protected my boundary. But wait, why do I feel terrible?
Ah, yes, the stomach drop.
My heart is racing, I feel physically sick, and I feel so guilty. I just want to call her back and say, okay, fine, I'll come. The source material calls this the guilt hangover. Let's talk about surviving this.
The guilt hangover is where most people fail. They set the boundary, they feel the guilt, and they immediately run back to undo it.
Because society tells us that if we feel guilty, we must have done something wrong, right? If I steal a car, I feel guilty. So if I say no to my family and I feel guilty, I must be a bad person.
That is the trick your brain plays on you. But in this case, the guilt has nothing to do with being a bad person. It is just a biological withdrawal symptom.
A withdrawal symptom, like quitting a bad habit.
Exactly. If you have spent your whole life being a people pleaser, your brain has built a strong habit. It thinks saying yes equals safety.
Okay.
When you finally say no, your brain gets confused. It says, wait, we didn't say yes. This is dangerous. It sounds an alarm. And that alarm feels exactly like guilt. Psychologists call it an extinction burst.
Extinction burst, meaning the brain is throwing a tantrum before the bad habit dies.
Exactly. It amplifies the bad feelings to try and force you back into your old, comfortable habit of saying yes.
So the guilt doesn't mean I made a mistake. The guilt is actually proof that the new boundary is working.
Yes. It's just the friction of building a new, healthy habit.
That completely changes how I see it. To help survive that friction, the source gives us two big mindset reframes. The first one is, saying no to others sometimes means saying yes to yourself.
This is all about what you gain versus what you lose. Human beings tend to focus on the immediate loss. You see the disappointment on the other person's face, and that hurts.
Right, you see the door slamming shut.
But what you don't see is the door you just opened. When you say no to a party you dread, you are saying yes to catching up on your sleep. You are saying yes to having a peaceful morning.
You are saying yes to your own sanity.
Exactly. You have to train your brain to see the positive side of the trade.
I love that. Okay, but there is a second rule in the text, and I have to be honest, it stresses me out. The rule is no is a complete sentence.
It is a very powerful rule, but hard to do.
It sounds so aggressive. If my friend texts me, hey, can you help me move this Sunday? And I just replied, no. Full stop.
Yeah.
No smiley face, no context. They're going to think I am so angry with them.
Okay, that's a common misunderstanding. No is a complete sentence. Doesn't mean you have to speak like a robot.
Yeah.
You can still say, I appreciate the ask, but I can't this Sunday.
Oh, okay. Phew. Phew.
What the rule actually means is that you are not obligated to give a because. You do not have to provide a long justification or a list of excuses for why you are saying no.
Ah, the excuses, the because. This is exactly what happens when the guilt kicks in. We feel so awkward that we just start talking. We offer up excuses like we are in court, hoping the other person will act as a judge and say our excuse is good enough.
It really is like being on trial.
Yeah.
We are so anxious that we don't think I am tired is a good enough reason.
I catch myself doing this all the time. Someone asks me to dinner. I don't want to go because I'm just exhausted. But I'm exhausted feels rude, so suddenly I'm saying, oh, I would love to, but I think I'm getting a fever, and my cousin is visiting, and my car tire's flat.
You build this huge house of cards.
Yes. Just to avoid saying I am staying home.
And giving an excuse is actually a huge tactical error. The moment you introduce a because, you tune your boundary into a negotiation.
Wait, how does it become a negotiation?
Because you give them a problem to solve. If you say, I can't go to dinner because I have to wait for a package delivery, a pushy person will say, no problem, we could eat later, or just have your neighbor get the package.
Oh my gosh, that is so true.
You handed them the variables, and once they solve your fake problem, you are trapped. You either have to agree to go, or you have to invent a second lie, which makes you look totally unreliable.
So by dropping the because, you remove all the variables. Let's do a rapid role play on this.
Okay, shoot.
Hey, are you coming to the team dinner tonight after work?
Thank you for the invite, but I won't be able to make
Oh,
it.
come on. Why not? What are you doing?
I just have other plans tonight.
But it's going to be so fun. Just come for an hour. What plans do you have?
I've just got some personal things to take care of tonight, but I hope you all have a great time.
Wow. Okay. I literally have nowhere to go with that. The wall is totally smooth.
Exactly. And your personal things might just be going to sleep early. You do not owe the world an explanation for your time. No is a complete sentence. Means recognizing your own freedom.
That is deeply liberating, just taking away the performance of it all. So let's pull all of this together. The core philosophy of this material is, every time you say no to something unnecessary, you say yes to something important.
Because time is a zero-sum game.
Explain that zero-sum game.
It means it is a limited resource. You can always make more money. You can fix relationships, but you can never create a 25th hour in the day. Every single time you say yes, you are spending a piece of your life that you will never get back.
And we spend it so carelessly. Think about the person we talked about at the beginning, dreading that party. That dishonest yes was a massive cost. Saying yes to that party meant saying no to resting, saying no to spending time with a partner, saying no to a hobby.
And when you add up those little choices over a year or 10 years, the cost is huge. You suddenly realize your whole life is built around what other people want, and you have totally forgotten what you want.
Which means this whole skill, learning the polite phrases, fighting through the guilt hangover, dropping the excuses, it's not just a communication trick. It's how you design your life.
It's how you respect yourself. The source material says it perfectly. Respect your time, your energy, and your peace. If you do not respect your own boundaries, no one else will do it for you.
People will just keep taking your time as long as you keep giving it.
Exactly.
All right, this has been an incredible deep dive. Let's do a quick recap for you listening at home. We started by looking at the biology of the dishonest yes. We learned that our ancient brains get confused, thinking a disappointed friend is a survival threat.
And we learned that saying yes just to keep the peace actually causes chronic stress and internal anger.
We changed how we see boundaries, moving away from angry stone walls and thinking of them as polite property lines. A respectful no is much kinder than a resentful yes.
We covered the practical toolkit. Phrases like, I'm sorry I can't, for quick stops. The danger of maybe another time. Using the gratitude sandwich like, thank you, but I have other plans to protect feelings, and unfortunately, I won't be able to join for professional distance.
And most importantly, we learned how to survive the guilt hangover. Remembering that guilt is just your brain resisting a new habit, not a sign that you are a bad person.
And dropping the because, no is a complete sentence.
Don't give them an excuse to negotiate with. So, as we wrap up, I want to leave you with a concrete challenge, something you can do right now.
I love a good challenge.
I want you to mentally look at your calendar for the next 2 weeks. Look at the meetings, the family functions, the favors you said yes to. Find the ones that make your stomach drop just thinking about them.
Find where those dishonest yeses are hiding.
Exactly. Find them. And then ask yourself, what are you sacrificing? What important moment of rest or personal ambition are you giving up just because you were too afraid to use one of the polite phrases we learned today?
Your time is the only thing you truly own. Protect it.
Think about that. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. We'll see you next time.